Devaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So who wants to start? I'll start actually. No, I won't. I'll let. We'll start from 20, and maybe we didn't start. Wasn't started first before. Maybe my board Chandradaya can read text 20 and the purport and the translation.
Excuse me, is this text 20 of the universal form?
Okay.
Yeah, the whole chapter's universal form.
Text 20.
Text 20.
Yeah, go on. You're all right.
I'm getting there, sorry.
What?
Yes. Text 20. Dyav a pritivyor idam antaram hi vyaptam tvayaikena dishascha sarvaha drishtva bhutam rupam ugram tavedam lokatrayam pravyatitam mahatman. Translation. Although you are one, you are spread throughout the sky and the planets and all space between. O Great One, seeing this wondrous and terrible form, all the planetary systems are perturbed. Not sure.
Yes. Anyway, by the sounds of this universal form, it's actually at the end of Brahma's day, which annihilated up to the, the heavenly planet. Well, the heavenly planets beyond that, up to Mahaloka, and then at the end of Brahma's life, it's annihilated completely. So anyway, I don't want to be around when that happens, because it doesn't sound very, you know what I mean? You get a strong wind or a bit of heavy rain and everybody's complaining like anything. And so it's not like that when there's universal devastation. Of course, anyway, says that what happens is it becomes super hot and everything's burnt to a frazzle. And then the big inundation of water, which actually quenches everything, and everything's finished then. So you probably won't even see the water. But anyway, we don't know what time period it takes. It's not like we think it's happening over a few days, don't we, or a few weeks. But no, it might take many, many years for all these things to happen. But anyway, at the end of the day, everything is wound up. That's the point. Okay, carry on.
Amihi tvam surasanga vishanti kechit bita pranjalayo grinanti swastit yuktva maharshi siddha sangaha stuvanti tvam stutibih pushkalabi. All the hosts of demigods are surrendering before you and entering into you. Some of them, very much afraid, are offering prayers with folded hands. Hosts of great sages and perfected beings, crying, "All peace," are praying to you by singing the Vedic hymns.
Yeah, carry on.
Text 22. Rudraditya vasavo yecha sadhya vishve shvinau marutaschoshmapascha Gandharva yaksha sura siddha sangha vikshanti tvam vismitaschaiva sarve. All the various manifestations of Lord Shiva, the Adityas, the Vasus, the Sadhyas, the Vishvedevas, the two Ashvis, the Maruts, the forefathers, the Gandharvas, the Yakshas, the Asuras, and the perfected demigods are beholding you in wonder. Text 23. Yeah. Rupam mahate bahu vaktranetram mahabaho bahurupadam bahudaram bahudamshtra karalam drishtva lokah pravyatitas tataham. Almighty Antman, all the planets with their demigods are disturbed at seeing your great form, with its many faces, eyes, arms, thighs, legs, and bellies, and your many terrible teeth. As they are disturbed, so am I.
So now we go on to another section. This is talking about the vision what Arjuna saw. So from 24, we'll start hearing how Arjuna, what effect it had on Arjuna for the next two verses at least. So maybe we'll change readers there. I don't know how many we got. Who's reading this week? One. Maybe Jai Krishna can do
Yeah, so text 24, yeah?
it. Yes.
Nabha sprisham diptam anekavanam vyatananam dipta vishalan netram drishtva hitvam pravyatintar atma dritim na vindami samam cha Vishnu. Oh, oh, all-pervading Vishnu, seeing you with your many radiant colours touching the sky, your gaping mouths and your great glowing eyes, my mind is perturbed by fear. I can no longer maintain my steadiness or equilibrium of mind. I'm guessing I'll just go on here. Damstra Karalani Chate Mukani Dristvaita Kalanala Sanipani Dishona Jane Na Labhecha Sanam Sama, Prashida Devesha Jagon Nivasha. O Lord of Lords, O refuge of the worlds, please be gracious to me. I cannot keep my balance, seeing thus your blazing death-like faces and awful teeth in all directions. I am bewildered. Oh, bloody hell, look at that. Shall I carry on here, Maharaj?
I would.
Oh, God. I'm trying to get out of it because it's a big long one, look.
Who is it?
Amicha tvam Dhritarashtraya putra save sahidvani palas sange Bhishmo Drona Suta Putras Tath Ashu Sadas Madhyer Api Yodha Mukye Vaktrani Te Tvaramana Vishanti Tamstra Karalani Bayanukani Kechid Vilagna Dashan Nanne Tarashu Chandrisyante Purnitar Utma Managahe.
Well,
All this, hey?
it's quite a test, isn't it?
Yeah, I just make most of it up. I kind of, it looks generally in the right kind of, I'll just make it up.
Actually, if you read through the Sanskrit every day, you become really proficient in reading. You'll find that even in this short while, if you just read like 4 or 5 verses, after 4 or 5 verses, you start improving.
I think it's because they have those big compound words, and we don't have compound words in English. So we have little short words that are easy to pronounce, and they have these big, crazy long words stuck on words, don't they?
Yeah, well, it's just a completely different structure, you know, and we're not used to saying things the way it's like any other language.
Yeah.
So it just takes practice. I mean, if I don't do it, then I'm the same, you know. If after just spending 10 minutes going through, I start to pick up, you know.
All the sons of Dhritarashtra, along with their allied kings and Bhishma, Drona, Karna, and our chief soldiers also, are rushing into your fearful mouths, and some I see trapped with heads smashed between your teeth.
Yeah, so hamstrung, that means teeth. It mentioned it in the previous verses as well. So you know, it's like everybody's actually being devoured by this universal form. Like the universe, it's actually time. I mentioned it last week. It's like revolving blades which just chew everything up. So this is it being personified, because actually everything is personal. There's nothing impersonal in this creation. It's just at different stages of development or consciousness. Like even stones, they have consciousness, but it's so, you know, so meager that we can't see any consciousness there. Okay, we'll stop. Move on. That was 26 and 28, weren't it? Or was it 26 and 27?
I think we're on 28 now, Maharaj. So that's next.
So maybe Anthony can read next. Is it?
Yata natinam bhavo vega samudra vimuka dravanti tata davami narolo kavira vishanti vikraniyapi abivi valanti. As the many waves of the rivers flow into the ocean, so do all these great warriors entering blazing into your mouths. Text 29. Yata praditam valanam patanje vishanti nashaya samridaveka tate vyanayasaya vijanti loka tavapi vitrani samridaveka. I see all people rushing full speed into your mouths as moths dash to destruction in a blazing fire. In text 30. Leliya Shegrashmana Samananto Lokam Samagram Paranwa Baladbi Tejobi Apurya Jagal Samagram Basas Tavogra Prato Panti Vishnu. O Vishnu, I see you devouring all people from all sides with your flaming mouths, covering all the universe with your effulgence. You are manifest with terrible, scorching eyes. Text 31. Akyahimiko bhavam nuprarupa namostute devavara prasida vijnatum ichami bhavantamadhyam nahi prajanami tava pravritrim. O Lord of Lords, so fierce of form, please tell me who you are. I offer my obeisances unto you. Please be gracious to me. You are the primal Lord. I want to know about you, for I do not know what your mission is. Text 32. Shri Bhagavam Huvacha Kalos Miloka Sayakrit Pavado Lokam Samartitum Ta Pravritata Ripidvam Na Bhavishyanti Sarve Yavashtita Pratyanikeshu Yoda. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "Time I am, the great destroyer of the worlds, and I have come here to destroy all people. With the exception of you, the Pandavas, all the soldiers here on both sides will be slain." Shall I carry on, Maharaj?
A minute. You can stop there.
Okay.
Yeah, 31, it starts a new section. It says that this is the Arjuna's 2 questions. He offers 2 questions. I offer my respects to you, O Lord. O Lord, please be gracious to me. Prasadita, you are the primeval Lord. So then it says, who are you in this ferocious form, Ugra Rupa? And, what is your mission? And so then in 32, we've just had 32 and 33 and 34 also, we hear what, Krishna says. First he says, time, kalosmi. Time I am great destroyer of the worlds. And I've come to destroy all people. So we can't avoid Krishna, that's the point. Whether we think we're actually independent or we're an atheist, so for some time we may actually be in that mindset, but sooner or later we have to recognize God. And it comes at the time when we leave this world. We realize that, nothing can help us. There's something more powerful than us. And it's taking away, we think at that time, if we're an atheist, it's taking away our existence. So that's how God appears to a person who's not a devotee. And of course, a devotee, he sees God in every situation. There's nothing he sees which is not connected. And so therefore, it's actually a completely different experience. And, the more we absorb ourselves in this chanting and the process, we can feel ourselves becoming immune to the material anxieties that, will actually befalling everybody. We become, what they call chilled out in the modern world, don't we? Because we realise that, I don't know, it's just to feel it's Krishna's mercy. We just become situated in our eternal identity, and we realise that, nothing can really actually affect me, only the way I perceive things. If I perceive things in the wrong way, then I get into so much trouble. But if I perceive them, things according to the acharyas and the shastras, then there's nothing can in service. If we're completely absorbed in service, we're not identifying with the body at all. We're identifying with the service that we're doing. We've had that. I mean, I'm sure everybody's had that sensation, when you may have actually been so absorbed in something. And then I think I gave this example before, didn't I? Yeah, I gave the example of the arrow maker. No? Well, there's not many arrow makers knocking about nowadays, but, in bygone ages, there were a few more. And when they make an arrow, he's got to be straight, hasn't it? If it's a little bit bent, and it'll just go around corners. So, you have to actually make sure. So he will make in these arrows, and it was like in India, he'd got his little arrowsmith business in front of his shop on the road, that's where they do it outside, and there's a road outside and everybody's passing by. And they were, looking down the arrow and they're twisting it, and then they were, and, an whole procession went by, with, a king's procession. And so, they were blowing bugles, and banging drums. And there were bards eulogizing the king. And he was just looking at his arrows. And the whole thing went by and never even noticed. So that's what we mean by absorption. It's just that we don't, if we don't miss a beat, then we just don't get caught up in what's happening around us. And, somebody might say, call your name a couple of times. If you're really thinking about something, they have to call you 2 or 3 times before you think, oh, somebody, because we're not there. So same way, if we're absorbed in devotional service, we're not actually, it's better because we're not just not there consciously. We're actually in the spiritual world, it's service. And so that's the beauty about devotional service. It's a very simple process. But we just have to practice, that's all. Practice, practice, practice. And okay, so over there. What are you then? About Anthony, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then we went to, now we'll go to Don Prabhu. Can you read 33?
33, yeah. Tasmatvam uttishtaya solabhasva jitva satrun bhukshva rajam samritam naevate nahataha purameva nimittamatram bhava samyasijin. Therefore get up and prepare to fight. After conquering your enemies, you will enjoy a flourishing kingdom. They are already put to death by my arrangement, and you, or Savyasijin, can be but an instrument in the fight. 34. Dronam cha bishvam cha yayatratam cha kalam tatayam api yodoviram maya hatam stvam jahima vyatachta yudashva jetasi rane sapatnam. The blessed Lord said, all the great warriors, Drona, Bhishma, Jayadratha, Karna, are already destroyed. Simply fight and you will vanquish your enemies.
Okay, so that's the point is in 33, he says they're already killed. You know, it's like Spike Milligan. I mean, I don't know how much he knew about the Bhagavadgita, but you know, he was a comedian, and you know what he had put on his gravestone? I told you I was ill.
Oh, yes. Yeah. It's, Spike Milligan.
He knew it wouldn't last. He wouldn't leave this world. It's the same thing here, you know, they're all everything's arranged by Krishna. And we mentioned this last week, become an instrument. Remember that word? Andy's here now. What was that answer, Andy? It was
I'm child-minding, Maharaj. I'm not up on it this morning. I'm sorry. I'm listening in, but I'm not 100% here.
okay. So we mentioned become an instrument. Nimitta matram, conduit. You remember the conduit?
Yes, I can remember the conduit. Yes, it's a channel.
Yeah. So we become a conduit. And then, you know, we take credit. And actually we get that. Has anybody had that experience when we're doing this devotional service? Saying, well, I didn't do all. You know, sometimes everything just happens as if, you know, it's like somebody else is controlling it. Has anybody got any experience of that?
Good distribution. Yeah.
Would anybody like to share their experience?
Yeah.
I remember one. Go on then.
When we used to cook Sunday feast in Soho Street, there are lots of times when we could see that we were not in control at all, difficult times. And then, there's a solution. So, yeah, you did feel you were not in control at all.
Yeah. Anybody else? Anyway, I'm sure everybody's had that experience where, you know, we try so hard to do something. And like Mother assured, she tried so hard to bind Krishna, and then she packed in, or, you know, she realized she couldn't. Then she actually found she could do it. It was some other energy was working. And so that's what devotional service, and that's why a devotee can be empowered to do anything, isn't it? It depends on our consciousness. If we're actually conscious that, you know, Krishna is actually the doer, and therefore we endeavor in that, you know, we can attempt anything, and Krishna can actually make it work out. And the only reason it won't do that, what's the reason it wouldn't do that? Anybody got an answer?
If it wasn't pleasing to Krishna.
If we are on false ego,
false ego,
yeah.
can you expand on that?
For example, on book distribution, when we were on false ego, immediately, whatever we tried to convince people, it mostly didn't work, you know. So
Yeah.
that's why Nimitta Matram worked the best when one was led by Krishna, usually one realized that it's not us who is distributing the books.
Yeah. That's right.
I suppose if you go out with her, if you do anything with her, with like her attached to the results, you may get that result, but I suppose it's remembering the reason you're doing it, isn't it? We go out to do it for bhakti, not for the result.
Yeah, what would happen if we got a good result and then Krishna kept giving us a good result? And, you know, we thought we were the doer. Then we would be, you know, the ego would just like, to get bigger, wouldn't it, you know? So it's not good for us to actually always get the result that we want. The result we want is to become free from false ego. And so he'll take it away so that we think, what's going on, you know? And then we start to realize that it's Krishna's, and we become more of dependent. We start to realize if we want to actually do anything with Krishna, we have to remember that, you know, he's actually the ultimate doer. As I was saying the other week, I think I got a question from my word Chandra about the doers. And we're talking about the individual is a doer by his desire. The three modes of nature are actually practically putting it into operation. And ultimately, so they're the doer. But the Adhikata, or the original doer, is Krishna's sanction. So in that way, you know, we can understand it. Okay, where did we get to? Don was reading, I interrupted him. He got on to 34, I think. Is that right? Okay, so let's carry on.
Carry on. Sanjaya Uvacha Etachtrutva Vachnam Keshavasya Kritanjali Vepa Manaha Kirti Namaskritva Puyai Vaha Krishnam Sagadkaram Vita Bitha Pranamya. Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, O king, after hearing these words from the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Arjuna trembled, fearfully offered obeisances with folded hands, and began falteringly to speak as follows. 36. Arjuna Vacha Stani Hishikesha Tavapacha Jagat Parishyati Anurajati Cha Rakshams Nipitani Tishodavanti Savai Namasyanti Cha Siddhasangaha. O Hrishikesha, the world becomes joyful upon hearing your name, and thus everyone becomes attached to you. Although the perfected beings offer you their respectful homage, the demons are afraid and they flee here and there. All this is rightly done.
So Rishikesha means Rishi, Isha. Isha means controller, and Rishi means senses. So he's a controller of the senses. And what's another name for Rishikesha?
Govita,
What?
control of the senses.
He's Paramatma.
Oh.
He's a Paramatma in the heart. The Paramatma, the super sanctioner. So he's arranging and everything and sanctioning everything. Nothing works without the Paramatma. So just the same thing, Rishikesha is the controller of the senses. And, you know, unless he actually gives sanction, then the senses won't work. Okay. Okay, we'll change to Sita Takarani now. That's 37, isn't it?
Kasmat Chatena Viran Mahatman Kariyasi Brahmanopia Dikatre Anatadvisha Jagani Vasa Tvan Aksharam Sada Sat Tat Param Yat. O Great One who stands above even Brahma, you are the original master. Why should they not offer the homage up to you, O limitless one, O refuge of the universe? You are the invincible source, the cause of all causes, transcendental to this material manifestation. 38. Van Aditya Purusha Puranas, Vam Asya Vishvasya Param Nitanam, Vetasi Vidyam Cha Param Cha Dhamma, Dvaya Tadam Vishvam Anantarupa. You are the original personality of God, the Godhead. You are the only sanctuary of this manifested cosmic world. You know everything, and you are all that is knowable. You are above the material modes, or limitless form. This whole cosmic manifestation is pervaded by you.
Yeah, pervaded by, here towards the end, he'll say, with a single fragment of myself, I support and pervade this entire creation, or this universe at least. So that fragment, you mentioned this last week, what is that fragment? It's a super soul. Like, you know, Dayananda Vishnu is a super soul of the material creation. Bhagavadgita Vishnu is a super soul of the universe. And Kshirodakashayi Vishnu is a soul within every living entity in the atoms. So without those three super souls, the whole cosmic manifestation wouldn't actually exist. It's by the energy coming from them that everything's actually functioning. Just like in this body, you know, the super soul is actually giving permission for the individual soul to enter and give life. The individual soul is giving life to the body. When he leaves, that's called death. So similarly, the Karanakasha Vishnu is giving life to the material creation. Garbhodakasha Vishnu is giving life to the universe. We're talking about the universal form. This is Garbhodakasha Vishnu, actually. He's actually, we see, you know, like sun and moon are his eyes. Different parts of the body are different demigods. So in this way, we can understand that the demigods are coming from the body of the Lord, and it's given specific duties to operate different functions in this body and different parts of this world. So it's all coming from Garbhodakasha Vishnu's sanction. Okay. Okay, so carry on.
39. Vayuyamo Knir Varuna Sankha Rajapati Svan Pravita Mahascha Namo Namaste Stu Sahasra Kritva Punascha Puyoti Namo Namaste. You are air, fire, water, and you are the moon. You are the supreme controller and the grandfather. Thus I offer my respectful obeisances unto you 1,000 times, and again, and yet again.
Hold on.
40. Namha Prashtad Pata Krishta Taste Namostute Sarvata Eva Sarva Ananta Viryamita Vikramas Vam Sarvam Samapnoshi Tatosi Sarvaha. Obeisances from the front, from behind, and from all sides. O unbounded power, you are the master of limitless might. You are all pervading, and thus you are everything. 41, 42. Akitimat Vaprasavam Yat Uktam He Krishna, He Yadava, He Saketi, Ajanata Mahimana Maya Pramadat Pranayena Vapi Yach Chavaha Sartam Asaktri Dosi
You know,
Vihara Shavya Sana Bojanishu Ekotava Hi Achyuta Tat Samaksham Tat Kshamaye Tvam Aham Aprameyam. I have in the past addressed you as, O Krishna, O Yadava, O my friend, without knowing your glories. Please forgive whatever I may have done in madness or in love. I have dishonored you many times while relaxing or while lying on the same bed or eating together, sometimes alone and sometimes in front of many friends. Please excuse me for all my offenses.
okay. Supreme power, you know, as master of everything. We can't actually have any relationship with him. It's just too much. And now, you know, this is why Arjuna's changed his vision of who Krishna is. He's like, he can't back as a friend, can he? You know what I mean? So similarly, you know, our process is, in the beginning, we worship the deity with awe and veneration, you know, with the best of everything and, you know, worship him like king and queen. Because first of all, we have to actually take that position of being a servant. And then, you know, when we're actually in proper consciousness, then we can develop a more intimate relationship. But here, you know, all that's been smashed by, you know, his warrior opulence being shown again. Yeah.
Yeah, I was reading something the other day about that, Maharaj. So it said like we try and develop like a mood of awe and reverence, and then Krishna like deludes us, so we don't have a mood of awe and reverence, because he says it's Krishna's energy which basically covers over our understanding of who he is and makes us think he's just like a little boy, if you know what I mean.
Yeah. So that's for a devotee.
Yeah.
And for a materialist, he'll cover him completely, so he hasn't got a clue who Krishna is. Can't even remember him. This is called Maha Maya. We think everything's separate from Krishna. He's covered so much. But that same energy can be used in a therapeutic way to just cover our understanding of, we can understand Krishna because we're a devotee, but, you know, it covers his Aishwarya form of, you know, opulence and majesty. And sometimes even in Goloka Vrindavan, Krishna uncovers that for a short while, just for the sake of the pastime. So we go, ooh, you know, as Mother Yashoda, you know, she looked in his mouth, ooh, and they saw the universal form, and she saw herself in there, you know, looking in his mouth. So you can imagine what she thought. What was good? And then straight away the pastime potency covered her again, so she did think, oh well, he's still my son. It's like, I remember Eddie Waring. I remember Eddie Waring. Not some of the old codgers like myself, I remember.
Yeah, football presenter.
He was, yeah, rugby. And he was very, you know, to the opposing opponent, you know, just to freak him out a little bit. And Eddie Waring said, oh, never mind, his mother loves him. You know? So it's like that, you know. Okay. We'll change readers. And it's Barbara now. Would you like to read my message?
Yeah, 11:43. You are the Father of this complete cosmos manifestation, of the moving and non-moving. You are its worshipful chief, the supreme spiritual master. No one is equal to you, nor can anyone be one with you. How then could there be anyone greater than you within the three worlds, O Lord, of immeasurable power? 44. You are the supreme Lord to be worshipped by every living being. Thus I fall down to offer you my respectful obeisances and ask your mercy. As a father tolerates the impotence of his son, a friend the impertinence of a friend, or a husband the familiarity of his wife, please tolerate the wrongs I have done you. 45. After seeing this universal form, which I have never seen before, I am gladdened, but at the same time my mind is disturbed with fear. Therefore, please bestow your grace upon me and reveal again your form as the personality of Godhead, O Lord of Lords, O abode of the universe. 46.
Yeah, so what he'll do now, he'll reveal his four-armed form, and then he'll reveal his two-armed form. So four-armed form is his godhood. When he revealed this to Vasudeva and Devaki in the jail when he was born, their mother Devaki said, "Please cover up your 400 form, otherwise cancer will kill you." She's talking to the supreme person. So this is how it works. This yogamaya potency. It's never that it's always working in ways to make us think certain ways, in order that we act in certain ways for the particular pastime. And then so then in the prison house he changed to his two-handed form. So Kamsa would think it's an ordinary child. Okay, carry on.
Yeah, 46. O universal form, O thousand-armed Lord, I wish to see you in your four-armed form, with helmeted head and with club, wheel, conch, and lotus flower in your hands. I long to see you in that form. 47. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, "My dear Arjuna, happily have I shown you my internal potency, this supreme universal form within the material world. No one before you has ever seen this primal form, unlimited and full of effulgence."
Yeah, well, Krishna did show a type of universal form to Duryodhana. Duryodhana tried to capture Krishna and jail him. But when he tried to do that, he just displayed his partial universal form to make Duryodhana realize that, you can't win. But he was so, so stupid, so materialistically minded that he still actually carried on with his antics. So this next section, 47 to 55, so this is talking about what pure bhakti is, because it's actually bhakti, our approach towards the Lord, our devotion towards him, which actually pleases him to actually reveal him to the degree that, we are actually qualified. He says in Gita that he appears before us as they surrender unto me. So that surrender is a surrendering process of wanting to, engage in a relationship with Krishna in one of the many different.
I'm sure, carry on.
Even with this painful situation, this ghastly form of the Lord, and then he'll reveal his 4-armed form, and then his 2-armed form. His 2-armed form is called Somya Vapu. Vapu means form. Very beautiful form. Okay, so read another one, Mataji.
And best of the Kura warriors, no one before you has ever seen this universal form of mine, for neither by studying the Vedas, nor by performing sacrifices, nor by charity, nor by pious activities, nor by severe penances, can I be seen in this form in the material world.
So it's
49.
difficult to see the universal form. As he mentioned, nobody had seen it before. But, you know, it's much more difficult to actually see the original form of Krishna. So that's how rare devotional service actually is. Manushanam saharseshu kastit yatadisivaya. After many thousands upon men, one may endeavor for perfection. And out of those who have achieved it, hardly one knows Krishna. So this is a great gift that, you know, Prabhupada's given us. Okay, so read one more, then we'll, who's not read yet? Anybody?
I haven't. Jack.
Oh, Jack. So we'll let Jack read. I think that covers everybody then. Yeah.
Yeah, so let's start now.
Let her read one more, then you can finish it off.
Okay.
Come on, Matthew.
49. You have been perturbed and bewildered by seeing this horrible feature of mine. Now let it be finished, my devotee. Be free again from all disturbances. With a peaceful mind, you can now see the form you desire.
Okay. Carry on,
Right,
Jack.
so Sanjaya said to Dhritarashtra, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna, having spoken thus to Arjuna, displayed his real 4-armed form, and at last showed his 2-armed form, thus encouraging the fearful Arjuna. Text 51. When Arjuna thus saw Krishna in his original form, he said, O Janardana, seeing this human-like form so very beautiful, I am now composed in mind, and I am restored to my original nature. Text 52. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, My dear Arjuna, this form of mine you are now seeing is very difficult to behold. Even the demigods are ever seeking the opportunity to see this form which is so dear. Text 53. The form you are seeing with your transcendental eyes cannot be understood simply by studying the Vedas, nor by undergoing serious penances, nor by charity, nor by worship. It is not by these means that one can see me as I am.
So it's by Krishna's mercy, in other words. By the mercy of a devotee, we get an idea what devotional service is. And that devotee is sent by Krishna. Because Krishna's in the heart, he can understand when we're ready. And then when we perform devotional service and we become properly, our consciousness becomes properly aligned, then he can actually reveal more like that. So it's a personal process, in other words. It's not by mechanical book reading, not mechanical chanting like that. Carry on.
Text 54. My dear Arjuna, only by undivided devotional service can I be understood as I am, standing before you, and can thus be seen directly. Only in this way can you enter into the mysteries of my understanding. Text 55. My dear Arjuna, he who engages in my pure devotional service, free from the contaminations of fruitive activity and mental speculation, he who works for me, who makes me the supreme goal of his life, and who is friendly to every living being. He certainly comes to me.
Okay, so that's the last. If we can understand that,
Oh, he's gone. I'm sure he'll be back in a minute.
That was the last one in the universal form, was it?
Yeah, it's the last verse in the chapter, yeah.
Yeah, Maharaj just disappeared, hasn't he?
Yeah,
It looks like.
he just lost connection, I think. Do you see if he comes back or? There he is.
okay, we're back.
You're
Where
back.
did I get? So when did I get knocked off? What were I saying? Last thing.
The moment you started talking, you got knocked off.
Okay, so I said that it's verse 55 is the essence of the Bhagavad Gita. And if we can actually understand this, we can actually really make progress and come to the goal. You know, we engage in devotional service without, material attachment. That's working for Krishna. And, we make that the primal thing we're trying to achieve in life. And if we properly understand the philosophy, we're not envious of everybody. We're friendly towards everybody because we see this friend and enemy. It's just a state of our minds. It's just the modes of nature we're making us think like that. We've got no enemies and no friends in this world. Just like on a stage, you go on the stage. If you actually think somebody's your enemy because, he's playing the part of maybe Napoleon and you're the Duke of Wellington, then people will think you're crazy. Well, that's what's actually happening. When you understand your real position, you just get on with the play, don't you? Or you actually learn to see it for what it is. So when we come to seeing things properly, we won't be envious of everybody. And then, so we're not envious of everybody. We've understood our identity. We engage in devotional service without attachment, and whether make Krishna the goal. That becomes the foremost things in our life. That's all we have to do. And that's achieved by chanting the holy name and hearing in the association of devotees.
Looks like you've cut off again, Maharaj.
Bob,
He's trying.
Ah,
Okay, it's all over. How much did you need before I got knocked off again?
Then you finished that first bit and then you got knocked off again.
No, every time I come to that, every time I try to talk, maybe I shouldn't say, oh. Anyway, he who works for me makes me the supreme goal of life. We engage in devotional service and we're fully trying to reach Krishna. And we don't, and because we're properly situated, we realize we've got no enemies or friends in this world. It's all the modes of nature. Just like on a stage, you know, if we're playing the part of, you know, Napoleon and the Duke of Wellington comes on the stage, we don't feel angry towards him, you know, at least not, you know, in his actual condition, because it's actually a play. So when we're situated in our spiritual consciousness, we actually see like that. So, you know, we're right for devotional service. We're not attached to anything, but we just engage in service and try to make Krishna the supreme goal. That's simple.
You've cut off again, Maharaj.
Chanting the holy name. Jai Krishna Prabhu.
No, I was just going to say you cut off again, Maharaj. I was going to leave.
Okay, I'll leave it.
You keep on cutting off.
I must be saying something wrong. I'll save it for next week. I'll try and
Yeah.
I'll try and sneak it in next week. Okay.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare
Maharaj.
Krishna, everybody.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Maharaj.
Hare Krishna, everybody. Thank you.
Thank you, Maharaj. Hare
See you
Krishna.
next week. Thank you.